AITA for using my daughter's bathroom? Am I the asshole? Beneficial noise 190. NTA. I don't get why your wife is mad when your daughter is completely okay. In fact, her decision directly caused you to go use the other bathroom and she doesn't see that? If it's just because you woke up late, that's her being petty. Minimus 04. 3029. 20. NTA. It's your daughter's bathroom. And she gave you permission. Unless you exposed yourself to your teenage daughter or otherwise behaved inappropriately. If this is just about using that bathroom, then your wife has no justifiable reason to complain. Since it does not belong to HER, your wife owes you a deeper explanation of why this bothers her so much. Or else she needs to let it go. Training Dearest. 9174. NTA. You asked your dog there. She said it was okay. I don't get your wife's point for being mad at you. Except if she wanted to teach you some kind of lesson. Trevina_ice. 446. Sick. NTA. Your daughter gave you permission. Your wife doesn't get to tell you you can't use any bathroom just because she's showering. She told me no and that I had to wait. She's not your mother. Nor a figure of authority. She can keep her weird power plays to herself. Panacolade. 316. Your NTA. Your wife is huge though. Not only she didn't want you to share your and hers bathroom together, she also didn't care about you being late, nor that your daughter is actually a sensible human and allowed you to use her bathroom. It seems that your wife is feeling stupid and guilty and wants to dump all her bad feelings onto you by accusing you of everything that she is guilty of. Forgerous. 1418. NTA. Your wife is in the wrong here. The only person who could object to you using your daughter's bathroom is your daughter, and she was cool with it. Your wife seems to think that you should be punished for getting up late. So you might need a conversation about that. Smurf Biscuits. 173. Definitely NTA. Your daughter gave permission. Not to mention, why the fuck would your wife ban you from getting ready because she's showering? I mean, I am super funny about using the toilet when someone is in there. But why couldn't you shave while she's showering? My BF and I don't even feel the need to ask to come in our shared bathroom unless one of us may be using the toilet, or need to use it when the other is getting ready. Super weird to me. Kikas comes. 160. AITA for telling my 26 meters mother. 47F. Then I do not grieve my late brother. 28 meters. Am I the asshole? Afraid _ try 32. 2. NTA. It looks like your mom would rather lose 2 sons than acknowledge the one she lost isn't worth all the effort she's still throwing at him. LWDK2. 3918. If you wanted me to grieve him, then you should have stopped him from bullying me. My life is objectively better now that he isn't around. I am sorry that it hurts you to hear that, but it's the truth. But at this point, it's clear that there is absolutely nothing further we can gain from continuing to have this conversation. So, is there something else you would like to discuss? Or shall I say goodbye for now? NTA. And you would be better off setting some boundaries on what conversations you were willing to have with her. Don't be afraid to hang up the phone, walk out of the house whenever she refuses to drop the issue. Good luck. And I am sorry that you are still having to put up with the problems caused by your brother even after his death. You deserve better. Dina Felice. 917. Entother mourning a fantasy. In their fantasy, their other son turns his life around and becomes what they wanted him to be. Now they're angry and can blame his untimely death for why he didn't do that. Rather than admitting he was a loser, they didn't protect you from your brother or acknowledge you. In spite of you in every way mentioned living a life most parents would dream of for their kids. And they're still too blind to see it. You're awesome. I'm proud of you for what you did. You're not obligated to continue to mourn your brother, who was a sh*t sibling. Son and human from what you describe. You can tell them off, or you could just say, my grief is private and I am coping with this in my own way. Please stop bringing it up and placing expectations on me of how to feel about my brother's death. Self-important cat. 204. NTA, no one gets to dictate how you feel about your late brother. Considering your descriptions of his behavior towards you, any one reasonable person would understand that your feelings to him are, at best, complex. That is absolutely fair and valid. In regard to your mother, it really depends on what sort of relationship you want to have with her moving forward. Given how they have also treated you, if this is the straw that causes you to distance from them, then that is also fair and valid. You've made a wonderful life, and if you want to go live that life and enjoy it on your terms, then go do it without guilt. They set the tone of your relationship over the last 26 years. Lastly, if you do want to maintain some relationship, I would offer her a blanket statement to attempt to get her to move on. I know that we all just experienced a horrible tragedy. Grief looks different on everyone, and we all have to process and mourn in our own way. Just because I don't grieve as you do does not make it any less valid. I would appreciate it if you'd respect that and allow me to process this in my own way. But like I said, you are under no moral obligation to take this route, just offering my suggestion to get her off your back should you want to actively remain in the lives, regardless. I am sorry for the loss of your brother. Grieve or not on your terms and be proud of the life you've built yourself with minimal support. Chelsea TX84. 309. NTA. Tell her you grieve never having a close sibling relationship. IC_department_1423, 92. NTA. She's spent so long trying to see your brother as the son she wants to see, she's not seeing him for how you did. She's still making her life around your brother even when he's gone. You might need to consider going LC&C with your parents if they don't move forward with their lives. Lemon_Charlie. 55. NTA. My nan had a saying, if they were a bast *** alive, then they're still a bast *** dead. Which to me has always made sense to me. You can be sad for your parents' grief and also not feel the same grief. He tortured you from the day you were born. Hard to miss someone who made your life hell. It may be time to go low contact with your parents. If they cannot grasp what he did to you and they're failing to correct it, that's on them. Rocket P. 33. WIBTA. If I told my friend the guy she's dating is a manipulative sociopath? Am I the asshole? Capable ad 5199. YWNBTA at all. In fact, you would be the asshole if you said nothing. Not that your warning might account for much, but if you could show her the messages as proof. MAAAAYBE, it could change things. Predators and abusers thrive because people don't know what they're getting into with them. You can change that just a little bit by taking action here and now. Between Weeb and Otaku. 2372. NTA. Raise that flag. T3RRY T3RR0R 751. YWNBTA. My only bit of advice is not to tell her in an insulting way entirely. Just tell her the facts. The texts you saw, the things he said, did, etc. If you come off as just insulting, she may not fully believe you, trust you. As from what I've seen, those in a toxic relationship get very defensive quickly about their partner. What they do with the information you tell them is their choice. And whether they take your advice or not is up to them. So do not be too pushy on it. Mighty Shen Den. 446. NTA. Though leave your armchair diagnoses out of it and stick to the facts of his actions and the pattern of behavior. Warning someone about him using cluster B diagnosis as a label as part of it is going to discredit you and play into the story he's likely primed her with. Also, regardless of diagnosis, abuse isn't justified or okay, so focusing on him being a sociopath just makes it seem like you saying it's not behavior he's in control of, and might make her think, I can help him change, heal this behavior if I love him enough. She might not believe you, as often part of the grooming, love bombing process is the my ex is crazy and turned everyone against me with her magical woman powers, my exes are all evil and lying about me for fun to ruin my life, song and dance. So she may have been primed to not believe anything you've told her until she starts to experience it for herself. So yeah, stick to the bare facts without editorializing, and let her know that she needs to keep her support network close, and, if you able to, that if she's ever alienated from them and needs help, that she can come to you. But yeah, don't push or pressure her and give her space. Autopsy Turvy 62. YWBTA if you use this language. Armchair diagnosing him as a sociopath makes you sound like a malicious and unreliable source. Stick to the facts. Just be honest about cruel things he said or did, and that he's not trustworthy. Don't cloud the issue with vitriol. Catastrophe 8503. 256. Warning your friend is the right thing to do. But don't be at all surprised if your friend defends him and tells him what you said, and he uses that to manipulate your friend to not being your friend anymore. Flowers and Birds 55. YWNBTA if you see those patterns, tell her to run. It's always better to say something. Official Cherry Bomb 72. AITA for telling my daughter she knows nothing? Am I the asshole? Kooky Swimming 7181. Greater than she and I have been low contact for the past few years info. Clearly some crucial details have been omitted. Care to fill us in? McCoydes 1. 1676. Info. You were getting alimony and presumably had a career, so why didn't the visitation schedule ever change to allow her to spend time with both parents more frequently? During your every other weekend schedule, did you make a point to attend every recital, game, parent-teacher conference, school activity, etc.? Were you there for her? Why were you low contact for several years? She is only 17, so the low contact started when she was pretty young. Sharamom 4. 873. YTA because you are omitting information. How does the SOM primary caregiver immediately agree to every other weekend and select holidays? Why did your daughter stop coming in high school? Why are you low contact? Why did she assume you might not show up for graduation? Just one of these factors, standing alone, might suggest your daughter is overstating things. But add them all together and it seems you weren't interested in anything other than part-time parenting, and now she's calling you out for just that. Greater than I told her that she made her choice to stop visiting and not to answer when I call her, and that she couldn't blame anyone else for that. Nope. She was a child. She wanted you to chase after her to prove you love her and you want her in your life. You're a teacher. You know how teenagers act. And yet you failed this very basic test. Jeepers Creepers 74. 5155. According to your version, you were honest with her about your rocky marriage, which implies a pretty neutral retelling of the story of your marriage, with you honestly acknowledging your faults. But according to your daughter's version, you always blamed her father. A normal reaction to that would be an acknowledgement that it absolutely was not all her father's fault, that you share in the blame too, but that your divorce isn't about blame anyway. You should have been confused as to why she thought you blamed her father and patiently asked her to explain why she thought you thought that, since obviously, if you want to reconnect with her, And this is something that's very upsetting to her. You as her mother would want to clear that up. But you didn't do that, did you? No. You told your daughter, the same daughter who usually asks you about the divorce when she visited, that she knew nothing. If she knows nothing after repeatedly asking you about it, then that's on you, not her. So while it sounds like there were perfectly reasonable justifications for why custody worked out the way it did, and it sounds like there are multiple factors that led to your estrangement, although for the record, you, as the adult, are more responsible for that than the child. And it sounds like you genuinely want to be a part of her life. YTA for insulting your child instead of parenting her by addressing the things that were clearly causing her distress. Dina Felice. 470. Get back in here and comment. Melodica Trident. 172. YTA. She wasn't talking about what happened between you and her dad. She was talking about what happened between you and her. She was describing her childhood and relationship with you and you refused to acknowledge it. XA0. Sky Complex 2625. 311. For context, I have been a divorce lawyer for 15 years. For pro bono, volunteer work, I represent children in contested divorce and custody cases. My state has a law that allows attorneys to be assigned to children in these cases, which triggers when a judge thinks that the parents are being so contentious and unreasonable that the children's voices are getting lost, or, if the child themselves makes the request, by writing a letter to the court. I love my child clients. They are always the smartest and best behaved people involved in any custody case. Be they as old as 17 or as young as 5, they always are keenly aware of the conflicts between their parents. All of which is to say, your daughter does, too, know something about what happened between you and her father. She may not know all the legal details, and she may have perceptions very different from yours. Surely she does, but you ignore her perspective at your peril. If you want to maintain any sort of relationship with her, at 17, she's less than a year from being an adult, and able to do what she likes. So this is not a conversation about legal rights. Custody fights over children over 16 or so are a great waste of time and stress and money. This is a conversation about relationships. No one over the internet can possibly know just what has gone wrong or what might be done to fix it. But I will say this one part jumped out at me. She'd ask about the divorce and why her father and I aren't together anymore. I always tried to be as honest as possible with her. That is not, I am sorry to say, what you're supposed to do. Honesty is critical in most relationships, but in parent-child discussions of divorce, it's likely a mistake. What you are supposed to say, except maybe in very rare circumstances, is that both you and the child's other parent still love them very much, but that you just can't stay together anymore. Hopefully, that is indeed the truth. But then you leave it at that. You shouldn't burden your child with too much detail about these intimate conflicts. It can make them feel like they have to take a side. Or like you trying to turn them against the other parent. Or undermine their belief that you know what you're doing. As I said, kids in high conflict cases always seem to know what's going on. Partly it's because your kids are always watching everything you're doing, even if they don't seem like it. Partly it's because of this sort of dynamic. It's not easy, as a parent, to avoid letting your frustrations with their co-parents spill out onto them, but it's important to try. Of course it is too late to correct this now. What you need to do now is to engage with your daughter. Not just as a child but as her own person. You said several deeply hurtful things to her, not just that she knows nothing, but that she is herself to blame for the state of your relationship. YTA a lot for that. You can't blame a child, even a teenager. For your relationship with them as a parent, they had all the power in the relationship. Even if you don't feel like you did. If you want to preserve your relationship with her as she enters adulthood, you need to apologize to her and listen to her experiences. So you get a YTA vote from me. But only to a point. I don't think the messages from your co-parent's family are appropriate. And probably the best thing for you to do is to simply ignore them. That's not an argument you can win. And there's no profit to trying. You need to talk to your daughter, and by that I mean, you need to listen to her. It might not work, or might not work as fast as you like, but it's the only thing that stands a chance. The Awkward Court. 30.